conference addressed by the Lagos Advocacy Group. The press conference is centered on the loss of nativism in Lagos State, the conscious marginalization and alienation of Lagos State indigenes in the government of the Federation and of Lagos State by successive governments in Nigeria and Lagos State in particular. This marginalization has also led to the disempowerment of Lagos indigenes, and in response to the disempowerment, to us as a group, we have to file a suit at the Federal High Court, Lagos State, with suit number FHC/L/CS/1465/2020 between Barrister Yakubu Eleto and others, as well as the Federal Character Commission and 18 others joined as co-defendants. The essence of the suit is to correct these injustices. Gentlemen of the press, well-respected youths of Lagos State, we are an indigenous youth group of Lagos State that cut across for the 5 divisions of the state. There are 5 divisions in Lagos State, namely Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, Epe, and Ikeja. The aim of our struggle is to correct, by due process of law, the continuous marginalization, alienation, oppression of indigenes of Lagos State in the government of the Federation and Lagos State in particular by persons who have consciously subjugated the of Lagos indigenes. We want to make it here as a point of note that the governor of Lagos as of today is not an indigene of Lagos State. The deputy governor is not an indigene of Lagos State. The speaker of Lagos State are not indigenes of Lagos State. That automatically means that those are the aims of affairs today, as of Lagos State of today, are not indigenes of Lagos State. All the 3 senators from Lagos State are not indigenes of Lagos State. Senator Solomon Olamilekan Yayi is from Ogun State. Senator Oluremi Tinubu is not from Lagos State, from Delta State. And the late Senator Pepe is also from Ogun State, which means that only Lagos indigenes are not represented in the National Assembly, particularly in the House of Senate. These are some of the reasons that got us agitated as youth groups. Now, what are we saying? It means that some states have more than 3 representation at the National Assembly, and that will continue to undermine the development of such states that does not representation at the National Assembly. And the essence of representation is what? Is for groups, is for indigenes of what? For several states to give their community voices at the House of Parliament, which we don't have. So enough is enough. Our main aim and struggle is to correct by due process this marginalization and of indigene of Lagos State in both the government of Lagos State and that of the Federation. Now, the Lagos State Advocacy Group, we are a social group of indigene. We have a following across all the divisions in Lagos State. We are devoid of any political ideology, religion, economic, or international influence. What we are after is what? Is justice for Lagos State indigenes. You must have a place of birth. You must be an indigene of a particular environment. Let me tell you one thing very particular. Let me tell you one important thing that we all must note is that the United Nations itself, as an international organization, respects the rights of indigenes by what? By the United Nations Universal Declaration for Indigene. The United Nations equally understand the fact that there must be indigene of what? Of a particular environment, of a particular state, and they must be allowed to participate in the governance of their environment. But as it is today, indigenes of Lagos State are not allowed to participate in the indigenes of Lagos in the process of their governance. When the governor says it's not from Lagos State, the deputy is not from Lagos State, the speaker is not of Lagos State, how would they prioritize the interest of that state? And that is why we are having the present lopsidedness that we have in the state, particularly in the area of development. And that was what happened even when the palace of the Oba of Lagos was desecrated, because you are not from that state, you are not on the grassroots, you don't know what is happening there. Everything you know is just to live in Ikoyi and Lekki, and that is the end of governance. You can imagine if somebody from Badagry is the governor of Lagos State. Do you think Lagos Badagry experience will be like that for 20 years? Imagine if somebody from Lagos Island is the governor of Lagos State. Do you think that person will not develop road in Lagos Island? Equally, if an region of Lagos State is from Ikorodu, do you think commuters will suffer long hours traveling from Ikorodu joining the mainland? People who have been having, according to the Yorubas, are the Atonwoniwas. They just feel that let us take their money and go. Look at James Faleke. He's still a member of the House of Reps in Ikeja. You went to contest for governorship in Kogi State and you came back. Is that not greed? Is that not greed? Look at Aregbesola. He was about 3 times commissioner for 12 years. All you did was to just pack your load and go and contest governor. Even if a law says that if you stay in somewhere for 10 years, you are a resident of that place that you can contest. Did he stay for? Was he in Lagos and Center in Osun for 10 years? It means that if he claimed that to hold a position in Lagos State, then he stayed there. You won't go immediately after the expiration of that term to contest another election in another state. This is cheating. It is absolute injustice. We now feel that enough is enough. And the only thing we did was what? To file a lawsuit and use the law process. Because Section 12 and Section 13 of the Constitution give rules for what? For indigenes of a state. And because the Federal Character Act equally empowers that there must be indigene of every state of the Federation. And they must be involved in the governance of themselves, in the governance of their states, and the governance of the Federation. But the reverse is the case. And that is why we are here today. That if our fathers have missed it, we as youth we will not miss it. Now, the Lagos State Advocacy Group. Yes, why did you file? What is the essence of this press conference? The Lagos Advocacy Group, after an emergency meeting we had via Zoom on the 16th day of November 2020, we lamented the poor management of the NSAS protest by our government. Let us note very clearly, why the NSAS protest was mismanaged was because of the fact that those are the ends of affairs. Their umbilical cord is not attached to Lagos State. If there had been indigenes, I'm sure they will have, even there is room for community policing. There are rules for people who are members of the CDS who are localized in the community. Those people with just an order from the governor, or even with just a call from the governor to the royal fathers, I'm sure everybody will mind their communities. The society became porous, just like Thomas Hope said. Society was nasty, society was brutish, society was wicked. Even the social contracts that we all signed, that we are going to follow governments, everything became loosened. Just like this person said, things fall apart. That things fall apart, the center could not hold. Because of the fact those at the center are not members of that community. And that is why we are saying that enough is enough. So we felt that the NSAS protest was mismanaged because those managing the affairs of Lagos State are not indigenes. Like Yorubas will say, it is Igida Eyefo. If anything happens, they go back to their state. They feel that they are not concerned. We don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to go. My father, my mother are from Lagos State. The only thing I could do is to wait here and reform and fight for the development of the state. We also know that what historical monuments of Lagos State were attacked. Let us forget the Oba of Lagos. Let us look at that stool itself that has been there since 1861. Desecrated just like that in the heart of Lagos, in Lagos Island. At the back, at the back, the governor lives at Lagos as in Marina. Marina to Akonis Palace is no more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes drive. With all the paraphernalia that the governor asked, and nothing could happen. The High Court of Lagos was looted and destroyed for 5 hours. 5 hours, and nothing could happen. The High Court of Lagos State that has been built during the colonial era was looted for several hours, and nothing was done. And we are still saying that these people love Lagos State. I'm sure they are there because of their what? Of monetary interest. If they have the conscience of Lagos State, if they are from Lagos State, I'm sure those things wouldn't have happened like that. We also notice that most of the things that we are seeing in the state is becoming what? Is becoming a slap to most of us. And the only thing we could do as youth group is to what? Is to challenge all these things. Now, the next thing we want to bring to our attention is the fact that we have equally filed a lawsuit. Is that what? We have equally filed a lawsuit. And the essence of the suit is that we sued the Federal Character Commission as a defendant. We sued the President Federal Republic of Nigeria as a defendant. We sued the Executive Governor of Lagos State as a defendant. We equally sued the National Assembly. The head of service of the Federation was equally sued as defendant. The Lagos State House of Assembly, the Lagos State Civil Service Commission, the Lagos State House of Assembly Commission, the Lagos State Air Service Commission, the Lagos State Local Government Commission, because it is through this means that they have been recruiting people into the state. We are not against people staying in Lagos State. We are not against people being in the employment of Lagos State. But the fact that must that be a detriment of indigenes of the state? The indigenes of the state are almost going to extinction. And if you don't talk now, if you don't challenge this malady now, we will continue to be under the influence of the claws of the lion. And we need to liberate ourselves. If our fathers are weak about liberating Lagos, I think we must not be weak. Flowing from the above, and in response to the incessant caused by the next generation of indigenes, that unless action is taken to protect our heritage and we take over our environment, we will become destitute and beggars in our state. We are now second-class citizens in the state. The special advisor to the governor on youth is from Kwara State. Imagine that kind of office. If the special advisor to the governor on youth is from Kwara State, the meaning is that there are no youths in Lagos that are conscious again. Even if you are going to give positions to people from other states, it shouldn't be sensitive position. The commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs in Lagos State is not from Lagos State. Can you imagine? Chieftaincy and community affairs. Who could understand the community more than indigenes? Imagine that kind of thing going on in the state. So we have now seen that the continuous subjugation of indigenes of Lagos State will make us become destitute and second-class citizens in our states. That in the nearest future, our race as Omo Eko, indigenes of Lagos State, as opposed to Ara Eko, shall what? We will later be described as what? As Ara Eko, as residents, not Omo Eko again. And that is the popular slogan going up and down, that Lagos is what? Lagos is no man's land. The indigenes of Lagos State have been displaced by now. Their culture has been eroded. The tradition of Lagos State have also been relegated to the background. And that was what was even seen, that the Opashe a symbol of control of the of Lagos, was being paraded by hoodlums in Lagos State. This is an absolute slap on us. The spirit of Lagos as of today is nowhere to be found. So the only thing we can do now is to call ourselves together and begin to see how we can correct this generational wrong. Now let us now come to the lawsuit. Flowing from the above, and in response to the incessant calls by the next generation of indigenes that unless action is taken to protect our heritage and we take over our environment, we will become destitute and beggars. That in the nearest future, our race as Omeko in the state will be exterminated by the government. Whereas other states in Nigeria, I'm still coming there, other states in Nigeria have continued to protect and preserve the interests of their respective indigenes by government action. As private citizens, we have therefore decided to challenge in the law court the constitutionality and the validity of indigenes of both the actions of both the federal government and Lagos State government in the marginalization and alienation of indigenes of Lagos State, in participation in the government of the federation and government of their states respectively. Now, let us now talk about the lawsuit. Like I said earlier, on the 19th day of October, we filed the lawsuit at the Federal High Court. The case has been assigned to Justice Liban of the Federal High Court, and the date has been fixed for December 15, 2020. It's coming up for the first time for mention. We will not preempt the court. The only thing we are doing is what? Is advocacy. The only thing we are doing is to conscientize the Lagos community that let us fear God. There are indigenes of these states. If by chance you win elections as non-indigene, you should not forget the fact that there are people who are aborigines, who are native of that place, that should be involved in how they are being governed. If you are not carrying them along, the meaning is that what? You are deliberately exterminating them. You want to erode them. Even in environmental law, we are talking about conservation of natural resources. If you are conserving animals, if you are conserving trees, if we are also recycling, what are we going to go to say of human beings who are native of one state? Exterminating them means that what? You are conserving and protecting animals. You are conserving and protecting the environment, and you are consciously exterminating some group in the Lagos State. It's no man's land. Is that justice? Is that equity? That is what we have in Lagos State today. And the only thing we can do is that we will fight. We will continue to fight until what? Until we attain victory. The suit is between Barrister Yakubu Eleto and others versus the Federal Character Commission and 18 others. The defendants are the Federal Character Commission, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Governor of Lagos State, the Attorney General of Lagos State House of Assembly, the INEC, APC, PDP. We are joining them so that because they are the ones feuding non-Lagosians as what? As candidates in the states. Even if their indigenship is still in doubt, what of somebody who has gone to contest election in other states? What does that portend? He said no, that he's from that state. Why are you still giving such person tickets here? That now goes to the morality of these political parties. That is greed and covetousness. So now what we are now asking for is a declaration that by virtue of the provisions of section 13 and 14, sub 3 and sub 4 of the Constitution of Nigeria, paragraph 8, part 1 of the third schedule of the Constitution, and sections 4 and 5 of the Federal Character Commission Act, Law of the Federation 2010, that the first defendant, the Federal Character Commission, is obliged to monitor and enforce compliance by the President and the Governor of Lagos State with the provision of the Federal Character Commission Act and the established guidelines and formulae made thereto to nomination to contest election or appointment of person to political offices, that such person must be from that state. The President is due, he has sworn to uphold the Constitution of Nigeria. And if you are not coming from the angle of sentiment now, we have left sentiment apart. What we are now arguing now is now the law. There is whether or not we are empowered by law as indigenous of the states to what? To fight for what belongs to us. So we are seeking for declaration that any appointment that is not in compliance with the Constitution and Federal Character Commission, appointment of non-indigenous in Lagos State should be declared null and void and unconstitutional. Among other prayers, there are 15 prayers that we have in that originating motion. If you want it, we make it available and give everybody to also read and digest. The case commenced by originating summon and is supported by an affidavit deposed to by Mr. Adeyemi Wasiu Olokoro Solomon, the legal practitioner and an indigenous of Lagos State, and the affidavit consists of 67 paragraphs. It's our belief that the court will grant our prayers and we will come out victorious. We believe that this will put an end to the conscious action of people who have hijacked the government of Lagos State to subdue, marginalize, and alienate the indigenous of Lagos State. And that's what is happening. If since 1999, we only have only one person who has been governor of Lagos State who is an indigenous of Lagos State, it calls for question. We have asked several people at the ends of affairs who are not indigenous. The director of special advisor to the governor on diaspora is not an indigenous of Lagos State. Such sensitive position. Who could know more indigenous of Lagos State outside Nigeria than indigenous? Even if you give appointment to non-indigenous, you should also be wary of the sensitive ones. And this is what we are saying. It shows that they have killed the voice of Lagos State, and they cannot kill the voice. We are the voice, and we will continue to voice out until we achieve our aim. The marginalization and alienation of Lagos indigenes started 2 decades ago, and we make bold to say that non-indigenes have always formed the core of the government of Lagos since 1999, despite the fact that there are competent Lagos indigenes willing and able to occupy this office. I'll begin to give example, and I want to make you know that even Governor Gboyega Oyetola of Osun State said that it is not fair and it is criminal for non-indigenes to take the slot of Osun when it comes to distribution of positions. If the governor of Osun State could say that, and several other governors too, that it's not fair for non-indigenes of their state to take position in their state, what is not happening to Lagos? Of course, they say it is cosmopolitan. We agree with that. We agree with that. Does not mean that we should erode people who are inhabitants of that place. That will be unfair. That will be unjust. That will be ungodly, and that will be unlawful. Permit me to make few examples. During the time of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lai Mohammed from Kwara State was the chief of staff of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. From Kwara State. Mr. Rauf Aregbesola from Osun State was also made a commissioner for works and later became governor in Osun State. Mr. Fola Atowori from Delta State was also a commissioner for lands. Mr. Femi Lanleyin from Oyo State was a special advisor. Senator Okoyemi Bamidele too from Ekiti State was also a two-time commissioner and one-time a special advisor in Lagos State. He later contested and won as senator in Ekiti State. In this current admission of Mr. Sanwo-Olu, there are a sizable number of non-indigenes in his cabinet. Mr. Gboyega Akosile, who is his deputy chief of staff, is not an indigene of Lagos State. Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, not an indigene. Dr. Idris Alako, a commissioner, not an indigene. Architect Kabiru Ahmed, a commissioner, not an indigene. Mr. Benga Motosho, a commissioner, not an indigene. Dr. Frederick Olaluwe, a commissioner, not an indigene. Mr. Honorable Oluwatoyin Foyinka, a SA in Lagos State government, is also not an indigene. We also have Engineer Aramide Adeyoye as commissioner for works, is not also an indigene. You can imagine. Mrs. Tola Akonde as commissioner for commerce and industry is not an indigene of Lagos State. Mr. Sam Egube, commissioner in Lagos State, not an indigene. In fact, Dr. Wale Ahmed, not an indigene. The worst part of it too is the son of Mr. Dele Alake, Mr. Tomisin Tubosun Alake, commissioner in Lagos State.
His father was a commissioner.
His father commissioner here, son of commissioner, and they are all from Ekiti State. This is unfair. It's ungodly. It's anti-God. Apart from political appointees, there are also elected officers in Lagos State today who are not indigenous. Half of those in the House of Reps in National Assembly are not indigenous of Lagos State. All the 3 senators are not indigenous of Lagos State. How would they fight for special status for Lagos State? Because I've been wondering that if we are fighting for special status for Lagos State, cannot indigenous fight such fight? And we all know today that Lagos State needs special status because of the fact that because of its location. But who will fight for it? When the 3 senators are not from indigenous of Lagos State, what are they going to say? This is why Lagos State since 1999 we are just deceiving ourselves. All of us have been seen as a window dressing development. We are seeing window dressing development. Go to Badagry, you know that there is development. Go to Kodu, you will see. Even in the mainland, is this 21st century state? We are just deceiving ourselves. Because those are the ends of our fears. Their umbilical cord is not tied to that state. What they know is to collect our security votes, give their children, give their cronies, and run away and contest in their own state. That is what we have been having. Until we correct this, we will continue to what? To revolve around one point. And that is what we are out to control, to correct. Senator Yayi, Senator Bayo Shinowo, James Faleke, Rotimi Agunsoye, representing Koshofe, is not from Lagos State. Honorable Samuel Adejare, from representing Agege Korea constituency, not from Lagos State. Honorable Jide Jimo, representing Yava, not from Lagos State. Honorable Ajopa Ogere, representing Amuwodofun, is not from Lagos State. Honorable Olabi Adisa, representing Fakojaye, not from Lagos State. Honorable Ademori Kuye, representing Shomolu, not from Lagos State. Honorable Olatunji Soyinka, representing Suleretu, not from Lagos State. Koda, the Speaker of Lagos State, Mubashiru Obasa, is from Ekiti. Honorable Rashid Lanre Makinde, representing Fakojaye, not from Lagos State. Honorable Jubril Folajimi Lai Mohammed, how can the father be a minister from Kwara?
And the son
is member of House of Assembly in Ikeja in Lagos State. Is that a conflict of interest? That is greed and gluttony. It is greed. And we have many of them like that. That is why Lagos State is not moving forward. We are just deceiving ourselves. The state is not moving forward. Everything we are seeing is window dressing. People just make money and go. If you make money and develop the state, there's nothing bad in that. But you are just there to pack the money and go away. Make the money, stay in the state, develop the state. Everything we see that tomorrow, this Lai Mohammed will go and contest another governor in Kwara State. You can see what we are seeing. So that is why the state is still where we are today. That's why the billions of Naira generated from the state every year. So we need to correct this generational wrong now. So imagine, if we have said that what we are tolerating in Lagos is intolerable anywhere in Nigeria. I'll give you an example. In Kano State, the wife of former NBA national president, the president of AB Mahmood, she's a judge in Kano State. She wants to be selected as judge at the court of appeal. In Kano State, they turned her appointment down. They said because she's not an indigene of Kano. We have seen hundreds of that happening in Lagos State here. I'll give you an example of in Cross River State. Justice Ikpeme is the most senior judge in Cross River State. She's supposed to be the chief judge of Cross River. But because of the fact that she's from Akwa Ibom, even a sister state, Professor Ben Ayadi denied her appointments as the substantive chief judge and appointed the second person that is on Cross River as the chief judge. If it's in Lagos State, they will have accepted that. I also give you an example. The case of Imo and Ebonyi State. The case of Imo and Abia. When Abia State was created, Imo said all the indigenes of Abia State working in Imo State government, they have them to resign and they moved them out. That they want to employ Imo indigene in their civil service. But if it is in Lagos, we will continue to see. Although we won't be as spoiled as that, but what we are complaining of now is the fear of extinction. The fear of extinction. the fear of erosion and the fear of destruction of Lagos heritage, which is ongoing. If you are not very careful, after 10 years now, there will not be Lagos indigenes again. Because it means that we will have, for 3 decades, we have had non-indigenes at the ends of our affairs in the state. And everything they are doing is the land. They will take the land, give to their family friends in the names of what? In the names of development. And those ones, they will destroy the habitats. They will displace the indigenes. They will build estates. And this thing continues for 10 years, there will not be indigenes of Lagos State again. So why? And that is why we are crying out now. Yoruba will say that Agbati Yoruba Akehun Soro, Aketon Sare. An elderly person who does not open his mouth to shout, when he's aged, he will use his leg to run. So the only thing we can do now is to bring ourselves together as youth groups. If our fathers have made mistake, we should correct the mistake. And that is why we are calling this press conference. Now, what are our demands? Is for respect and compliance. That governments in Lagos State, if by luck you win election in Lagos State as non-indigent, of course we don't have power to correct. The constitution allows that you can contest election if you have stayed there for a relevant time. But if by chance you now win election, we are supposed to respect and comply the provision by appointing the indigenes of that state. It's their right. Imagine a black man becoming president in America and going to pack black man in government, in power. What do the Americans do? Let us think of it. But you are a governor in Lagos State, you are appointing non-indigenes, you are placing them on the indigenes of the state. That is wickedness. That is inhumanity of man to man. So what we are now saying is that what? Let us continue to know that there are indigenes of Lagos State. We want the government to put an end to the marginalization, alienation, and oppression of Lagos indigenes. And finally, we are also calling on our senior citizens, senior indigenes of Lagos State, who are also compromising the struggle. There are some of them eating from those that are suppressing us. They should remember that there is posterity. They should remember that Lagos State is crying. We want to get the conscience and the soul of Lagos State back. They should stop selling us out in the names of peanuts. They are making billions of naira. They give you thousands. You saying about. You should stop that. We don't want anybody's money. Develop our state. If for 20 years a child cannot talk, can that child talk again? That one is lame forever, for life. If for 20 years Lagos State is like this, because people who have been directing us, people who have been controlling us are not indigenes. Everything they are doing about Lagos State is lip service, eye service, window dressing developments. This is not real development. That's right. We don't have core indigene, and Awori indigene, and the Jebu indigene. People from Lagos Island, from Badagry, from Ikorodu, from people who have been governors. Give them a chance and see what will happen to the state. And that is what we are asking for. Enough is enough. And he who make peaceful change inevitable will make violent change evitable. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.